little bit. As new instructional coaches, some of us are returners, but for the most part, a lot of us are new instructional coaches. You're going to take this rubric, for the most part, and you're going to present this to your core members. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the putting the pieces together, that sometimes there's going to be a tension. You may have a core member who says, I don't know why you're focusing so much on me when your goal is student achievement. And you need to be able to take this rubric and explain to them, like, yep, I'm actually going to be evaluating you on this, but to the end of student achievement. When we have core members who may say, like, I'm not good at executing my lesson plans, what does that mean? And can you use this rubric to then help them see exactly how they're going to develop as a professional in order to make sure their students are achieving more? So I'm just curious to hear from you, one, like, what do you see as the purposes of the principles, the actions, and the strengths? Any school team? Thank you, Casey.
Well, we were saying that the principles are just generally like, what do good teachers do? But if you just left it at that level and said, and tried to use that as a way of professionally developing core members over the course of the summer, then there would be nothing concrete to drive that development. Saying, you're not executing effectively. Like, what does that mean? And so then when you break it down by the actions, then you have a way of looking meaningfully and purposefully at what are the specific things that a teacher can do in order to execute effectively. And then when you break it down by the strands, you can use that to say, like, well, what things are you succeeding in, and what are your areas of improvement, so that it's not like, oh, I'm just not executing effectively. Like, well, I know I'm doing X, Y, and Z right, but I really need to focus on A and B. And so it's like, it builds up confidence, but also provides you with a focus on what specifically you should be working on in your development.
Great. And so I think, like, it gives us a shared language. It helps me to say, like, you know what, I'm not good at executing effectively, but I have my CMA Casey who's going to actually break this down for me and tell me exactly where I need to focus my attention so that my students can learn more. How is the TAL rubric designed to be student-centered? Lindsay, thank you.
I think in many of the rows, it's describing what students are doing. So half of the students are checked for understanding, a third of the students are checked for understanding, so that it's based on, it can really show you the observation. It's not subjective, it's objective. This is what happened. And it also gives a very clear, it's obvious that obviously the teacher's understanding of more than a third of students, that means you know that more than a third of students understood the content. Or if more than half of the students are engaged, you know that more students are engaged because you're on this higher level of the rubric, or because you're doing the things at this higher level of the rubric.
Exactly, thank you. So it takes that teacher action, it connects it right there to that student action, and then that student outcomes. Like you were saying, in E1 specifically, we're looking at the beginning proficient level. Half of your students are interested and compelled by what you're telling them. At the AP level, it's more than half. So we're looking at exactly what is the teacher doing in order for these students to succeed. And then last but not least is, how is it asset-based? How is it asset-based? Warren.
It's not only just focusing on the positive, but it's also giving next steps and actions that they can take to move forward, not focusing too much on, oh, this is what you did wrong, or, what is it that you did wrong. It's really moving forward on, like, what you can do to move forward to actually correct yourself and actually move up in level.
Good, exactly. So it's not saying the teacher did not, blah, blah, blah. It says the teacher did this, and then here's what you can do to get to the next proficiency level. Exactly, thank you. Abby has something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that our team is talking about how that was important to use it as a tool and not as something that you're like judging yourself on, and that you're looking at it so that you can see how and where you can move up to develop yourself.
Exactly, thank you. So before we kind of get into exactly what actions we as staff members must take to make sure that our core members are able to see the student-centeredness, are able to use that professional development tool, etc., I want you to actually look at handout number 3. A lot of people often ask, why do we only grade core members on P3 and not on P2? Or why do we not even look at the working relentlessly role of the institute? And what handout number 3 does is tries to give a little bit of a rationale around that. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that right now, but I do want you to take a few seconds to just read it independently, and then if you have questions about it, feel free to drop in your question bag, or you can talk to me during the break. So just